Mark here with another bat review. Just before I start it, I just want to show you, this is a regular short handle bat up the bottom, and this is the Mongoose Torque. So, reviews about the Mongoose, and that's the bat that's currently for sale. Anyway, move that one out. So, really excited to be reviewing this. Mongoose have gone out of business. They've been put in receivership, I think, a couple of times, and probably as recently as June last year they started selling up for the last time. They started in, I think, late 2000s with a whole heap of publicity with the Mongoose MMI, which was obviously the brick on a stick. This isn't the MMI, this is the CoR3, which was the, there were two of them that were released at the same time, and this was supposedly the more traditional of the two. The thing that distinguished the Mongoose was obviously the very thick, aggressive, low, middle, thick shoulders, all hitting area design with thick edges. And the other thing was the way they recessed the splice up into the handle, creating a longer hitting area, because a normal splice, if I get, so if this was a normal bat, it once was, you can see there the splice ending here, whereas it's ending about there on the Mongoose, which just means that that portion of the splice is actually up into the handle here. So, what does that theoretically create? Well, theoretically it creates a longer hitting area because there's less vibration, obviously, in this portion of the zone, which means that theoretically you can hit the entire length of the blade here. And it's for that reason, you know, they designed it for aggressive stroke play with a really, really thick toe. That toe measures out at 38 mil. Let me get this right. It's 37 there, but anyway, that's quite ridiculous for a toe. And at the edge, it's 32 mil, which is bigger than the edge on, the highest point of the toe on my B3, which is quite a big toe. Shoulders up here are 2 centimeters, and the spine peaks at 62 millimeters. However, you've got quite an aggressive concave there. And, you know, this is 7 odd years ago the design came out, so you've got a good 3 to 4 mil concaving in there. And that obviously accentuates the edge. If that wood was put into making a full shape, then we'd probably be looking at more of a 35 mil edge. The bat itself is what they called the Super Premium, which was their grade 1 plus bat. And it's quite a fine example of willow. It's got 9 grains, straight, no real heartwood. Maybe a tiny little something there, but I wouldn't call that really a blemish. Nothing, it doesn't matter what's on the back. And they run straight through the toe, which is a really good sign. So all in all, it's quite an impressive bat for the time that it was put out. Right now, with 2020 design profiles, you're getting Gunner Moore and Kookaburra, all actually doing bats which have shorter blades and longer handles. So more recently I had a Phantom in, and that had a very similar sort of style. In fact, this is actually the second grip that I purchased for the Phantom, so it fits on this bat, was designed 7 years before. The Phantom itself was a very similar profile, a bit fuller, but nowhere near as thick on the toe as this is. Now, what does that do for the pickup? Well, you don't have to be a genius to work out that it probably picks up its weight. Now, this bat weighs with a scuff on it already. $297, which incidentally is the same weight as, I think the Beluga is $297. That's $296. The pickup difference between the Beluga and the CoR3 is really, really different, obviously, because you've got that bit of a what do we call that? That bit of a duck bill down here, and also we've got all that wood extending up higher. So this is basically sacrificing putting the wood in the hitting area to locating it up here to create better pickup, whereas, and also a longer middle. Whereas for the Mongoose, the wood basically is concentrated all throughout the whole bat, but predominantly those 2 points there would be your hitting areas. So this bat would have probably been manufactured, I don't know, 3 to 4 years ago. It's never been used, and it's only been tapped up, probably freighted around. I'm the second owner of it. Give it a tap up. Quite a bit more vibration there. So even though that toe is quite thick, it's giving it something around there, but it's not really doing a hell of a lot, except probably giving a little bit more structure and strength down there. The press itself on this is quite hard, and if I'm honest, because it was manufactured so long ago, I'm considering taking the scuff off and oiling it properly and knocking it in that way, even though it was a very good quality scuff that they used. That helicopter one that I found from 3M is much better. It's probably even better than the Extra Tech that I normally get. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. It's something that I've always wanted to have, which was this particular bat, which was the super premium of the CoR3, for a long time, just because I like, you know, you call it bat technology, but you could also call it a gimmick. Just like a lot of things with cricket bats, there are gimmicks that manufacturers want you to believe are going to make your game go to another level. This, I think, was probably one of the better implementations, and you know, 5 years on, everybody's sort of jumping on board with the shorter blade idea. We've had drop shoulders before, which this sort of has a drop shoulder. If the splice was actually cut normal, then the blade would probably run all the way to here, but they've basically cut it out to create that handle shape. Interesting take on it. Comes with a really nice cover. This is a neoprene cover. As with bats from that era, no sort of there's a bit of texturing there, but it's not embossed or anything like that. Nice and shiny, good quality stickers. And just like I've said before, when you're knocking in older bats that may be sitting in the shop for a while, just take your time and give it a good oil. Don't go to town on it with the mallet first up, and really concentrate on those edges. So yeah, there you have it. We'll turn it around and we'll bounce the ball on it, but I'm not expecting anything outrageous from it at this point. A little bit of light coming in from the back there, so that's the Mongoose there. As usual, 2 balls. I'll start with the older 2-piece kookaburra. Jesus. There it goes. And this is the Duke, which I expect is going to go nuts on it. This time, So up high, so probably in a mid. It's good, but it's going much better down low. Off that toe it's alright. Up high. Yeah. So did the extended splice actually do anything? I'm not quite sure. I'll have to see after I knock it in how it feels. Anyway, that's the Mongoose Super Premium CoR3.